Hello, my name is Evandro Cunha, and I'm an assistant professor at the Federal University of Minas Gerais, known as UFMG in Brazil. I completed my PhD very recently in 2020, and it was a very transdisciplinary PhD since it was a co-tutel in linguistics at Leiden University in the Netherlands and in computer science at UFMG with an internship at the Max Planck Institute for Evolutionary Anthropology in Leipzig. I consider myself a computational linguist, much more a linguist than a computer scientist, actually. Um, in my thesis entitled Contributions to the Computational Processing of Diachronic Linguistic Corpora, I explore aspects of the computational processing of large texts, of large sets of historical texts that allow for the analysis of language change over time. I consider language the most fascinating and intriguing among the human faculties. Language is arguably the most powerful tool that we humans developed to express our thoughts and feelings and to convey information about the facts that occur even outside the here and now interaction. And this is one of the main reasons why the scientific study of language and especially its variation across time and space is what drives me the most as a researcher. My personal interest in the interface between linguistic studies and computational methods includes several different topics, especially those mentioned in this word cloud. Many of my recent interests are focused on computer mediated communication, that is, on human communication that occurs through the use of two or more electronic devices, and also on the communication between humans and machines. In the field of computer mediated communication, I highlight my interest on the increasingly relevant topic of extremism and misinformation on the web. On the other hand, I also like to think in a positive way and analyze the interaction via computers and as an alternative to help the process of linguistic revitalization, since a large part of the world's linguistic heritage is slipping away more and more quickly. By the end of this century, about half of the current 7,000 languages spoken in the world will be extinct, and I'm interested in contributing to the use of technology against the extinction of some of these languages. And finally, I have had a very recent interest in the interface between brain, language, and computation, mainly to understand how our brain processes different linguistic phenomena. In this short video, I would like to briefly display two of my articles on the topics of misinformation and extremism on the web. In this 2018 paper called Fake News as We Feel It, Perception and Conceptualization of the Term Fake News in the Media, we quantitatively analyzed how the term fake news is being shaped in news media in recent years. We studied the conceptualization of this term in the traditional media using 8 years of data collected from news outlets based in 20 countries and found indications of changes in the perception of this term after the 2016 United States presidential election. In this other 2018 paper that won a Best Student Paper Award at the Web Science Conference held in Amsterdam, we observe issues related to hate, violence, and discriminatory bias in a YouTube dataset containing more than 7,000 videos and 17 million comments. We investigated users' comments and video content in a selection of American and British far-right channels and showed that videos and comments in these channels tend to contain a higher degree of words from negative semantic fields, to raise more topics related to war and terrorism, and to demonstrate more discriminatory bias against Muslims and towards LGBT people. Here at Intercontinental Academia, my proposal is to discuss the effects of technology on human communication, especially on two fronts. First, I intend to discuss manipulation, extremism, and the spread of misinformation in the current scenario of the pandemic and climate crisis, which is a theme that involves communication studies, linguistics, social and political sciences, but also computational science and machine learning. And also, I intend to discuss applications of language science in AI and the phenomenon of linguistic and social interaction with robots and agents, something that increasingly present in our lives as well. Well, that's it. It will be a pleasure to meet you all in Paris, and I'm always available for conversations and discussions on these and other topics too. Au revoir.